After the memorable clash against Novak Djokovic, the 20-year-old Carlos Alcaraz became the first man other than the Big Four to win Wimbledon since 2002, and the first player to beat Djokovic on center court in over 10 years. Which made a lot of the fans around the globe believe that finally the torch might have just been passed through the new generation, and also left us with a lot of questions marks about what is special about the guy that can make people believe that he could be the next big thing. Is it the training, the style, the coach, the genetics? Because we have always heard about new names taking the scene, but no one of them made it this far at this young age. Born in 5th May 2003 in El Palmar, Murcia, Spain, Carlos Alcaraz Garcia started playing tennis at the Real Sociedad Club de Campo de Murcia, where his father was the tennis academy director. At age 17, Alcaraz made it to the main draw of the Australian Open, making him the youngest participant in the men's singles. Then Alcaraz became the youngest match winner in the Madrid Open's history, defeating Adrian Mannarino as a wild card and breaking then 18-year-old Rafael Nadal's record from 2004. At that very young age, he introduced himself to the world as a promising talent. If we looked with an expert eye on Alcaraz, we can see that he is an all-court, all-round tennis player but primarily employs an aggressive baseline style of play, with an emphasis on a high winner count from his forehand, typically his most reliable and potent shot. He can either hit his forehand flat and fast for winners from every court position, or add a great amount of topspin and margin over the net. He also possesses a well-rounded and more flat and lower net clearance backhand ground stroke that he is able to redirect down the line for clean winners. His greatly disguised drop shot is key to his game, as he often combines the heaviness of his ground strokes that pushes his opponents back into the court into a defensive position, with a drop shot that is often too well placed and disguised to deal with. He has an impressive net game with great drop volleys and drive volleys, and frequently serves and volleys on crucial points. His first serve is consistent and can go as fast as 140 miles per hour, but is more commonly around 115 to 125 miles per hour and hit with average placement. This has led to some criticism of his serving. However, he has an excellent and reliable second serve to which he can add topspin in order to get a high bounce off the court and either push back or get a weak return from closer returning opponents. This serve typically reaches 93 to 106 miles per hour. Alcaraz has earned acclaim for his athletic and physical traits. In particular, his direct sprints, counter-attacking abilities, and an extremely high peak foot speed have garnered him comparisons to a young Rafael Nadal. He has been compared to Novak Djokovic for his assured lateral movement and court coverage, aided by physical splits and sliding through the court on defense, particularly on his backhand side, where he is often able to neutralize his opponent's ground stroke aggression or drop shot attempts. As for Carlos Alcaraz's current coach, Juan Carlos Ferrero, he had an illustrious playing career before transitioning into coaching. Secured his first major title at the 2003 French Open, which established him as one of the top players in the world. In September of the same year, the Spaniard touched the pinnacle of the men's game, reaching the world #1 ranking. His reign at the top lasted 8 weeks. Ferrero amassed 16 ATP titles over the course of his career, including 4 Masters 1000 events. He was known as one of the best clay court players of his time. He proved himself as an all-court player, performing exceptionally well on hard and grass courts, too. He did work with Alexander Zverev from 2017 to 2018, and in 2019, Ferrero took on the role of coaching Carlos Alcaraz. Much of the talk in men's tennis has been of a transition, as Federer is past tense and Nadal has earmarked a retirement date. It feels like old news now, and with the talk about a changing of the guard. If we project all this factors and abilities, we can see the future trajectory of Alcaraz as future contender. As many expert in the game and tennis legends did, Roger Federer was asked about him. He said, "I think he's got all the tools, he's got a lot of different ways to win matches, and I think that's what champions are made of." Former Roger Federer's coach, Ivan Ljubicic, suggested that Carlos Alcaraz represents a unique combination of Roger, Novak Djokovic, and Rafael Nadal, and this one was before his 2023 Wimbledon Championships title. Mats Wilander spoke with Eurosport. He commented, "After Medvedev beat Djokovic in the final of the US Open a couple of years ago, we thought that, okay, he's going to be the one making the difference." And no, he isn't, actually, because Nadal and Djokovic are still winning Grand Slams. So there's a chance that Alcaraz will be the one that's going to decide the future history of our game. There is a chance. Alcaraz has broken many records already at the age of just 20, youngest player to win an ATP 500 tournament, 18 years, 10 months. Youngest player to win the Miami Open, 18 years, 11 months. Youngest player to win the Madrid Open, 19 years. Youngest ATP number 1, 19 years, 4 months. Youngest year-end ATP number 1 in the Open era, 19 years, 5 months. And when it comes to his future plans, Alcaraz admitted that he's focusing on the Canadian Open in Toronto and the Cincinnati Masters. His goal, as always, is to win the events. But obviously, the US Open is the premium event. He confidently named it as his main goal, which isn't a surprise. Statistically, or by what we have seen and heard, the sky is the limit for Carlos Alcaraz.